Hello and welcome to Finlandia Fridays. My name is Michael Babcock. I am your host and we are so happy you're here with us this morning. I am here today with Samantha Richards, a sophomore here at Finlandia University from Dollar Bay, and we're here to talk about her story of how she ended up at Finlandia. So Samantha, if you could just give us the short introduction of how you ended up here at Finlandia, that would be a good way for us to start this morning.
Okay, so I was at another college and I didn't quite like it there just because it wasn't for me. And so I got in contact with Laura and I got all my stuff ready and I transferred in the middle of the year.
Awesome, and Laura is one of our admissions officers here at Finlandia. She's no longer with us, but we do still have a full staff over there who's more than happy to help students like yourself who are interested in switching mid-semester. And the reason that we brought you in here is obviously because of that story, but it's interesting the way we found out about it. We were on Instagram, as we always kind of do. We're checking out all the social media feeds, seeing what people are saying about Finlandia, trying to get an idea of what people think about us. And we ran across your post, and I actually read it last week. I was in front of a group of professors here. We were talking about different things about Finlandia, about ways we can shape its future to always try to improve what we can. And I ended the conversation by reading your post out loud. It was pretty touching, actually. A lot of people in that room kind of lost their breath for a second. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that post and what made you write it? And after you tell us about it, I'll actually read out loud exactly what you said. But tell us a little bit about that post and why you felt that way.
Okay, so I wrote that post because I was so glad that I was here. Like, we're starting to register for our next semester, and I was just so happy. I was so excited for this new coming semester, and I had to tell everyone that I was so excited. I mean, when I was at my other college, I was just like, I am not looking forward to the next semester. I don't want to be here. It's not for me. And then just to see how much I've changed and just my attitude from going, I don't like school, to yes, I get to go to school. And it was just so cool, and I had to share. Yeah. So everyone knows that just because where you are now isn't making you happy, there's a place that can make you happy, and you can do what you want to do.
Those are some powerful words, and it's fun to hear you say them, because I can tell just from actually reading it was one thing, but seeing you say these things is another thing. It's important for people to realize that just because you're somewhere, and I say this to kind of students in general, but people in general as well, but it doesn't mean you have to stay there and do what you're doing. You have the opportunity to make a better opportunity for yourself, and that's exactly what you did. What about Finlandia made you feel like you were welcomed and you were home?
It's just a small school, but I mean it's still big, but and everyone's so friendly. Laura called me so many times to tell me to get my stuff together, and I was just wow, she really cares. Yeah. And it was just so nice knowing that someone out there wants me to come here and wants me to do my best, and all the teachers I've had so far have just been so concerned about me and how I'm doing and my understanding of what they're teaching me, and I was just so excited. I was just I never felt so cared for, and it was just amazing, and I loved it.
That's an amazing story, and I hear these a lot, mostly because of the small class sizes, the small campus. Everybody kind of seems to get to know each other, and you coming from a UP school, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but you're from Dollar Bay High School. You're kind of used to that a little bit when you go. So a lot of these students, when they go to these bigger schools, it's kind of shocking to the system. There's so many students. You go into a classroom with 200 students, and clearly the faculty aren't going to be able to get to know every student. Right. And you come here, and it's kind of the opposite of that. What was it like your first day on campus? You clearly didn't know that many people yet, but did you feel like you belonged right away?
Not right away, but I mean, it was not that long where you kind of felt the people in your classes. I mean, there were several people I had in many classes, so I saw them almost every day, and then I kind of felt comfortable then, and it didn't take long. I mean, when I went to the other college, I maybe had 2 people and that I saw almost every day, so I was kind of okay with, but I mean, there were so many kids in all the classes, I'm just
yeah,
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's a powerful story. And what I would like to do too is invite people to go to finlandia.edu/Fridays. Check out the show. We have the video, we have the podcast version, but go into the show notes there. I'm going to post the screenshot of the Instagram post that you can see it. And I tell people, read this out loud. Read it out loud, see how it feels coming off your tongue, because it really, to me, that's what made it more real and made it more powerful. Let's talk a little bit more about your experience here. You are an accounting major. What made you choose accounting?
Well, when I was signing up for classes like in high school, when I applied to the other college, I was undecided, but then they had like your second option and I had put accounting. So then they just shoved me right in accounting.
Yeah.
And that accounting class there like made me really like accounting.
Yep.
I mean, I already taken it in high school, so I was like, okay, I can do this.
Right.
But then like that teacher I had there like really made me love it. And then when I came here, I was just like, yeah, this is really great. Like,
yeah,
accounting.
Well, it's actually a really cool. I mean, the degree itself is great. It's one that really prepares somebody for a career. I know I've talked a lot to Kevin Mannon. He's the dean of the business school here. And he made it clear to me that the entire group of accounting majors that have graduated over the last 2 years have been able to find jobs, a lot of them locally and right in their field, which is wonderful, because that's exactly what you want to hear. You want to hear these students came here, they got a full-rounded experience like you're getting right now in this place of belonging, if I can put that word into your mouth a little bit in that sense. But and they've been able to find these jobs afterwards that have been rewarding. What kind of career have you thought about after you graduate?
I haven't like really thought about it that much, but I was kind of thinking I want to be like a CPA, and like to me, I really would be willing to go like anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool that I could go anywhere. I could stay here and.
Definitely. And there's a lot of opportunities like that. One of the final things I'm going to talk to you about, and this is something I just found out when you walked into our set this morning, is that your parents were both actually graduates of the college. Tell me a little bit about that.
My dad first went to the college that I had went to too, and he didn't like it there too because it was too big for him, because he also went to Dollar Bay.
Okay.
So
following in his footsteps, you went from Dollar Bay High School, and you both tried a larger school, and it just wasn't kind of for you guys, and then you both ended up going to Finlandia.
Yeah, and then he went to like nursing, and he loved that, and so like when I had told him that, like I just like it felt like too much at that school, he's like, well, why don't you try Finlandia? And I was like, okay, that sounds good. And I was like local, and I was like, I can do this.
That's awesome, and it's important for people to realize that these opportunities exist for them. So it's always good to explore that. And your mother also went here for education.
Right.
It's fun to have these kind of stories. And I think that's probably about it. We're going to wrap up here for today's Finlandia Fridays episode. I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching this. Again, go to finlandia.edu/Fridays. Check out the show notes. We'll post that screenshot from Instagram. Thank you so much for posting it, and more so coming in here and telling your story, because I know it's not always easy to put those words out there, but what you're saying is you're not unique on this. There's a lot of people that have this experience, and Finlandia's here for those kind of people that want this smaller experience and still to get out there and prepare for a meaningful career. So thanks again for being here. And if you go to finlandia.edu/Fridays, you can see the full archive of all of our shows, show notes from each of those as well as learn how you can subscribe to get Finlandia Fridays right to your device, whether it's via video or podcast. We're more than happy to make that happen for you. And we want to once again call out donations. We'd love to have some donations here. In an upcoming episode, you'll be able to see some really cool stuff we have that we've got donated. So we're excited to get those up there. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next Friday.